to the world of mixed martial arts. This weekend, Saturday, we had UFC 314 headlining. We had Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez. If you guys know, Volkanovski has been champion, probably one of the UFC GOATs in the featherweight division, and they were fighting for the vacant featherweight title that Volkanovski had held a few years before losing it to the person who was the last champ. But this was a very violent fight. Diego Lopez, he has the bangers. Volkanovski has a very interesting history. Can you guys see me still?
Yeah.
Volkanovski has a very interesting history. Once a rugby player, transitioned into a fighter. Volk, as they call him, has an illustrious record in mixed martial arts, 27 victories and only 4 losses. Also, Diego Lopez has an illustrious record, as you can see right there, 26 victories and 7 losses. The outcome to this, Volkanovski attained he reclaimed his featherweight title over a unanimous decision where the judges gave it 49-46, 49-46, 48-47 to Volkanovski. My screen keeps on changing here, but I think it's because I'm using every integrated system with my Apple, so whenever somebody pings me, it switches. Let's move on to Paddy the Baddy. I hate that nickname, but he calls himself Paddy the Baddy. He's from Liverpool, UK, exciting striker in the UFC. Scored a TKO over the veteran Michael Chandler. I know LT loves Michael Chandler. He used to talk about him from the Bellator days, even before he came to UFC. He used to say Michael Chandler is violent strap. Watch this guy. He may lose, but he's going to entertain you because he's one of those guys that rock'em sock'em type, like he's just going to leave brain cells on that canvas because he is entertaining. And that's why with that record that you see that he has, is 23, 10 losses, still has a job in the UFC because people like to see Michael Chandler go at it.
And prestigious, just in prestigious wrestling pedigree is that too. So
yeah,
not a whole lot to add there. Sad every time he loses, but guaranteed entertainment every time he goes out there. Another just wholesome guy.
Yes, amazing human being. But in that arena, in that octagon, that guy is violent. And,
flips the switch.
And sometimes he's a head case. So the tough guy is starting to die away in the MMA world. Like we used to have the Chuck Liddells, all these tough guys. Now it's like skilled, like distance, like the Izzy regeneration fighter. Like you're not gonna see the big macho strong rampage slam you type of fighter that these guys are dying out because the UFC fighters are more skilled in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You talk about all these Ukrainians, Russians, the Khabibs who come in as specialists, and they don't care if you're tough because they come from tougher conditions. They're like they're the real tough guys. Look at boxing, they're the real tough guys. Like they don't have to have the mohawk that Chuck Liddell had or missing teeth like these other fighters in the past that used to fight in the UFC. Now it's highly skilled. So if you see somebody like Paddy the Baddy, if you Google him, he looks like a guy I would probably slap in a bar. Don't do that. He's highly skilled and he will F you up. All right, on to the next. We have Yari Rodriguez fighting Patricio Pitbull. Yari Rodriguez earned a unanimous decision over Patricio Pitbull, and this was a featherweight bout. So these would be in the same category as the main card, which is the Volk weight category. So Yari scored a unanimous decision with all judges scoring 30-27 in his favor. I didn't get to catch this one. I did catch the Volk fight, but this is from my notes. On to the next. This one is of a very, very I wouldn't say call him notorious, but outside UFC, you know who this fighter is. We all know Bryce Mitchell. If you don't know him off Twitter, if you don't know him off short clips, you know is yeah, you know who he is. He attacks everybody. He attacks politicians. He attacks yeah, you know Bryce Mitchell. He's a very polarizing individual. He believes in his guns, his country. He believes in his, he believes in his farm and not being bothered.
Was
And
that
he
little?
speaks
Was
like
that
that.
little
I like
twang?
that. I
Yeah,
like that.
he believes not being bothered by the government, and he's one of those, and he stands for his. So, Mr. Jin Silver, if you know anything about him as a UFC fighter, he barks. He's a dog. He has a whole dog mentality. In the presser before the fight, Mr. Jin was barking, and Bryce Mitchell said, "When I'm at my farm, farm.
Yeah.
Whenever dogs come for my animals, I put them to sleep. I take them out.
Yeah.
Like
got
literally, yeah.
I
he's one-
was it a I don't know if it was like a 360 or something, but I did see the kind of like the behind the scenes on one of his lead up fights to where they visited where he actually lives out there in Arkansas.
Arkansas, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's an interesting character, but he unfortunately was put to sleep, like the dog
Mm.
that he puts to sleep, and the guy proceeded to bark at his body laying there. It was a sight to see. Actually, as we talk about this, let me pull that up. Bryce Mitchell, very interesting. And I do like the fighter, a very skilled fighter too. Let's take away the antics and his accent and what the things that he stands for, which I respect. As he goes by Thag Nasty as his nickname. He's an interesting character. But yeah, as I pull this up, yeah, this man proceeded to bark at my man after choking him out. It was something that is poetic, something that you cannot even write during a movie, something that is it was Shakespearean. As I proceed to share my screen, it was Shakespearean. It's something that Spike Lee probably wrote in one of his movies, just letting you know that art imitates life. As his body was laying there, as you can see, Bryce Mitchell, Silva was barking in his face after choking him out. It was something, and he barks. I don't know if this is disrespecting the sport or it's just a little bit of, hey, it's a little bit of and it's a good conversation to have. I mean, is this too much? Is it too much? What's the word here? Banter? Is it too much?
Too demonstrative.
Anti-sportsman like? You know, this dude is passed out cold.
What's the back and forth leading up to the fight?
Bryce, this dude was barking, and I don't know if you could hear this.
I put a lot of dogs down in my day.
Ele disse que matou.
Did you hear that? Were you able to hear that?
Dogs.
You can
Put
read
a
the
lot of
caption.
dogs down.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, my man was barking like a dog, but this is just art. This is art. This is the beauty about, like you have trolls that talk and you will never see them in your life. But these guys are going to meet each other. Like, you could say whatever during the press conference. You could say whatever you want to say, but you got to see that man. You got to see that girl.
Well,
It's beautiful. But moving on, if you guys remember this fighter I don't know if he played in the NFL, but from a football player, I think he may have played in the NFL. We are talking about Dominic Reyes, the only fighter that I thought beat Bones Jones in a fight. That I think Bones Jones was lucky to win that fight. Made a comeback. And as you know him, tough dude, very athletic. Won his fight in the first round with a knockout over Nikita. Oh, these Eastern European names. Krylov. Krylov. As you can see, Nikita Krylov has an extensive mixed martial arts record of 30 victories, 10 losses, while Dominic Reyes pivoted from football, being a professional football player. I think he played for the Dolphins. I mean,
he had aspirations.
I don't know if he played professional, but hey, I thought he was a football player.
Attended tryouts for the Canadian Football League.
Yeah. Yeah,
Went undrafted. It went undrafted in 2013.
went undrafted. But yeah, he was an ex-football player. He's about like 6'5", 6'6", athletic. His record speaks for itself: 15 victories, 4 losses, and he had taken a little bit of a hiatus from the UFC. But he's one of the deadly guys at light middleweight. Light heavyweight. So hey, keep a lookout there. And I don't know if he would want to chase Jones Bones into the heavyweight just for that, get back. But anyways, hey, heavy is the crown.